Cultivating a peaceful mind is something that we should all be giving awareness to daily. It is a practice that helps us to sustain a certain frequency that is so important right now on the planet. Welcome everyone. My name is Emily Harrison. I am the founder and director here inside the Akashic Academy. My area of expertise is in the Akashic Records, and I work with visionaries, thought leaders, and difference makers who are ready to access the technology of the Akashic Records, which opens them to infinite intelligence. That's right. Truly, we all have access to the realm of consciousness, the etheric library, the field of information where all possibility is held. But in order to get good at working within that space of the field and manipulating the field, sometimes that word is used in a negative connotation. I'm going to invite you to see it from a different perspective. Of course, we all want to manipulate the field. We want to cultivate influence over our reality. And in order to do that, guys, you've got to have a peaceful state of mind. And in order to maintain a state of peace in your mind, you've got to practice every single day. Please say hello once you get here. I'm also going to invite you, take a moment and share this out. One of the most powerful things we can do right now as the planet is ascending and evolving is share this message of expansion, the shift that we are all craving here on the planet. The shift, the advancement, the stepping into human potential, the human potential movement, as some people call it. It is going to require us to manage our own individual energy and begin to create the life that we want to experience in our own microcosm. And the truth is, we are simply just lacking the tools that help us to manage our own energy. So I'm going to invite you to share this out, share this message out as we are expanding consciousness right now. I'm going to take just a moment and share it out as well. And thank you to all of you guys who do the sharing out. I'm almost there. We're looking for the video. Social media is so incredibly powerful to keep us all connected. It also is such a huge influence. And as many of you know, when you're tuning into what's going on, what's being pumped through the airwaves, through the media, a lot of times what we get bombarded to within our field, just let me share. Okay, there we go. Has incredible influence over us. It will tend to influence your subtle thoughts more than you realize. So another reason why it's so important to tune into powerful broadcasts like this one, tuning into your favorite energy healers, talking to your favorite thought leaders, tuning in and supporting those who are showing up and inspiring the planet to think on a higher frequency. And we're going to talk about, again, the power of cultivating your peaceful mind today. Now, we know that a peaceful mind will eventually lead to a peaceful and healthy body. Our thoughts inform our reality. Our thoughts also inform our bodies. And when you cultivate and maintain a level of peace in the mind, your body will respond with vibrant health. We know this. We know that a peaceful mind is also very important in manifesting. Your peaceful mind is a gatekeeper to your ability to manifest. All right? But there are some other reasons why I want to really inspire you to make this a discipline, something that you give time and attention to every single day in cultivating your peaceful mind. One of the hugest access points into the Akashic Records is through that meditative state. Okay, we also have access to the Akashic Records through our dream time. There's an imprint of the Akashic Record located in your DNA. So many different access points to this space of infinite intelligence. But in order to access any of them, You must learn to cultivate that peaceful mind. And when you learn to do this in your lucid, awake time state, sorry, lucid is more dream time state, right? Yes. When you learn to bring this out of that dream time state and do it with a very conscious awareness, your skills get very big and very powerful very quickly. What do I mean by your skills? I mean your ability to manage your own energy, your ability to manifest, your intuition comes online much more dynamically. Okay? So that's a hugely important reason why you've got to cultivate that peaceful mind, is because you need access to infinite intelligence. You need access to that deeper intelligence. Things are moving and shifting and changing like crazy right now. Our peaceful mind actually helps us to manage and navigate big change. And whether you are owning that you are inviting the big change into the world or not, or you're pissed off about what's going on in the world. Some people pissed off about all the change that's coming up. We are definitely inviting change. And I would be willing to bet that every single person on this broadcast, whether you're watching now live with me or whether you are watching on the replay, is seeking an aspect of more in their life. They're seeking an aspect of change. If you are seeking change and you are seeking more, you are seeking more magic in your life, more compassion, more bliss, more influence over your field, let me know. Send some hearts across the screen if that's you. If you know that the bigger scope of the change and the shift that we're experiencing in the world is the call for you to lean in and get bigger, to know yourself more dynamically. The third reason a peaceful mind is so important is because a peaceful mind allows you to see multiple perspectives. It allows you to see at least two sides of the coin. But we know in our modern day society, there are more than just two sides to any situation. There are multiple perspectives. Whether this is this idea of multiple perspectives and opening up your ability to accept more than one truth, more than one possibility is meaningful to you on a big scale, a political scale, a global scale, or whether it's meaningful to you on your own individual microcosmic scale, your own personal relationships, opening up to multiple perspectives, especially when you are having familial conflict, is so important. It's so valuable. And as our families are moving and shifting and changing, especially as those of us who are more advanced in our consciousness, more awake right now, we know that we're not only clearing for ourselves, but we're clearing ancestry. We're clearing for our family. We're clearing for the planet. And one of the most valuable tools you can have for clearing purposes is just being able to get freaking neutral about a subject. And when you have more information, you have more perspective, you've experienced it from more than just your point of view where you're all ass chapped. Guess what? You calm down and you say, oh, I understand. That makes sense. So these are some reasons. I hope that you were inspired by at least one of them. There's some damn good reasons in there, people. All right, of why you want to begin cultivating your peaceful mind. So let's do it together right now. I'm going to invite you guys to sit up nice and straight with me. Sit up straight. We're going to practice what's known as some belly breathing. Okay, so as we breathe in, I'm going to invite you to expand the belly, let the belly get really big, and then as you exhale, pull the belly button back to the back of the spine like you're wringing out the air. All right, I want you to feel your feet connected to Mother Earth. Feel your butt on the chair. All right, and we are setting an intention together now to breathe in this synchronous fashion. I love synchronized breathing with you all. It's so simple and so powerful. We're going to direct intention into our breath. And we're going to invite in a peaceful state of mind with purposeful cultivation of being able to hold a peaceful state of mind. I want you to use a balanced breath. Equal inhale, equal exhale. Okay? For the purpose of cultivating balance here. Balance and a peaceful mind. Nice deep breath in. Fill the belly. Let it get big. And a nice exhale. We're going to count to 4. Hold for 4, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Belly gets big. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Pulling the belly back to the spine. Holding. And inhale. 2, 3, 4. Letting the belly get big. Holding. 2, 3, 4. Exhaling. 2, 3, 4. Pull that belly back to the spine. Holding. 2, 3, 4. Inhaling. 2, 3. Let the belly get big. 4. And pausing. 2, 3, 4. Exhaling. 2, 3, 4. Squeezing that belly back to the spine and holding. 2, 3, 4. And now let the breath return to a nice even pace. Just a few moments every day of focused breathing, feeling your feet on the planet, giving the breath an intention. This is why it's so powerful to give your breath intention, because your breath has consciousness. Your breath has very magical consciousness. In fact, the breath is designed to be that essence substance, that gateway substance that bridges the human being from the physical world to the etheric world. So call in energy, call in insight, call in peace with your breath. All right, I would love to take some questions from the audience. Let's do just a few quick questions here during Akashic Answers with Emily, and I will channel in some insight for you from the Akashic Records, as well as do a collective activation. So not everybody will receive a reading tonight, yet all of the activation, the transmission that comes in is for everyone, okay? Furthermore, if you do not ask a question, but you feel like the guidance that's being channeled from the records to whomever the person is who specifically asked, if you feel like that information is for you, then that message most certainly is for you. And I invite you to receive it as it was yours, as if it was adopted child that you love just as much as your own, okay? All right, ooh, I think a little splashback in the face there. Welcome everyone. I'm going to scroll through, do some shouts out. I think, okay, if I were to channel Mrs. Short right now, which was one of my high school English teachers, and try to remember the exact grammar, I would think it was shouts out. Shouts is plural. The out is singular. All right, here go the shouts out. Paul Young, I see you. Cassie, hello. I'm glad to have you here. Kim, I love you, Kim. Ron Cruz, Ron Ellie in the house, everybody. Dana, I see you here. Hello, Dana. Hello, Tony. Hello, Katrina. Hello, Keith. Hello, Amber. Welcome. Please say hello once you get here. Raphael, Teresa, I see you all. Lori, hello. Hi from Vegas. Fellow Nevadian. Hell, I don't know what we're called, but I know where we live. Okay, Paul Young. My path is narrowing but feels wide open. Does this make sense? It absolutely does make sense for some bigger cosmic reasons, Paul, that your guides want to bring forward. And that is that we're in a state right now where we're merging duality. Okay? Duality still very much exists, but we're finding ourselves as human beings able to hold paradox, able to hold complexity, able to hold our consciousness in more than one place at a time. We're also able to perceive the difference in relativity, is what the guides are saying, meaning, in some regards it looks wide open, and then in some regards it looks very tiny, but just remember, it's like as soon as you go through, I didn't mean to make this R-rated, but that's fine. We can play like that. All right. As soon as you go through a small porthole or wormhole or tunnel, let's say, where it feels like your pathway gets very focused, you will move out, and it's going to open up a whole nother path, whole nother like world of infinite possibility to you. So recognizing that they are working in sync with each other too, the dichotomies of how we're experiencing our own energy. All right, does that make sense? So if anybody else feels like they're working with diametrical energy is what the guides are saying right now. And that specifically means that you feel like there are polarities playing out in your life. Okay? Maybe you're finding, and here's another way to understand how this pattern might be present for you, the guides are saying. In regard to a person or a relationship that you were in, if you were experiencing this dichotomy in a relationship, it would almost be as if one minute you were totally in love with that person and the other minute you were just very disgusted by that person and needed to create the space. Maybe you feel that way about a job. This might be for some of you out there who are I talked in the beginning about feeling that pull to more, and that there's a lot shifting and changing. And for a lot of you, it does mean your jobs, because if you haven't created your own job and you know what the 5D is, you know that we are transitioning into this higher level of consciousness, then you know if you haven't created your own job, you haven't identified what your genius is and offered to serve the planet and expand others with your genius, you're going to be very miserable in whatever job you currently have until you figure out, what is my passion? What is my purpose? How can I serve the planet with it? And figure out how to do that. And so for those of you who have put your big girl pants on or your big boy pants on, I know we got a couple fellas in the house with us here today. Those of you who've already put your big pants on and you are ready to figure out what that looks like and you're ready to dive in. But maybe you haven't taken the first action step that you need to take yet. Maybe you haven't brought on a mentor that's going to sit your ass down and help you make a plan of how you're going to walk through this change. And so you might be feeling like, yeah, it was a really great idea and I couldn't deny my soul and I'm so happy that I am ready to finally commit to myself. And then you shrink away. Maybe like within 12 hours, within a day, you're like, ooh, I don't know. And you shrink back as much as you felt energized. Yes, I'm seeing a Jessica says yes. So this dichotomy is being invited to merge right now, specifically this week, the guides are talking about. So Paul, thank you very much for bringing that up because it's super timely. We have cosmic energy, we've got this beautiful new moon that's coming in, but that's here, actually. It is new moon time. Second new moon in Cancer for this we'll call it a lunar season, perhaps. So there's a lot of attention on that Cancer energy, that divine feminine energy. A lot of powerful support to help us to create right now, especially if we are creating using our divine feminine magic or creating paradigms that help to expand and share our divine feminine magic. That energy is all good, don't get me wrong. There is a cosmic storm that have been a brewing for, I'd say the past week or so, maybe not quite that long, that is definitely stirring a lot of energy. So that stir is what's inviting us to really melt the polarity, okay? Gosh, I keep drinking and it just splashed right up on my face. All right, so anybody who would like to receive assistance in the merging of polarity in their life, just type in yes. What this is going to look like in your life, Spirit is saying, is more tolerance. Yes, Ron, I see you. Thank you. Sending that energy through. So all of you who type in yes or just acknowledge your permission can receive this energy. It's energy that will help you melt polarity. And it's going to show up looking like more tolerance in your life. Okay? And don't miss the subtle little spaces, Spirit is saying. Like, if your ass was totally turned off by the smell of ketchup, and all of a sudden you notice, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, well, I noticed I didn't get triggered there when I smelled that vinegar. Whew. That is evidence of the energy working on you, and it can be that fun to begin to witness more tolerance. And as soon as you witness, and you're like, oh, I was just more tolerant right there. Go me. Then you begin to cultivate it in the situations where the stakes are higher. Thank you all for saying yes, 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 receiving yes. All right, I'm going to scroll back through and take some more questions. If you have questions, feel free to type them in. Aloha from Hawaii. Cassie says, yep, me, you shrink away and you rethink everything. Oh, when you can get rid of that, oh, life is so fantastic. I have spent, trust me, how it looked in my life when I spent too much time going over and over and over how I did and second guessing myself and feeling the repercussions of that energy frequency in my body, which is no good, was my 20 years in Hollywood. It took me cultivating a peaceful mind and learning to set aside the audition that I just went on for me not to comb over every single line, or we call them beat in Hollywood. They're the beats of the scene, not to come over every single beat of that scene and think of a different way I could have done it, which may have been better. And that was no fun. I'm very happy I let that go. Okay, Dana says, I've been slipping into different timelines or past lives or parallel lives. Yes, beautiful. Love that this is the next message that caught my eye. So thankful to Dana and to Spirit for illuminating timelines and the jumping of timelines that's occurring as we're here together, because this is one really cool phenomena. It can be anywhere from a little freaky to curious, questioning, like, did that really happen, to just absolute awestruck, okay? And there's a collective understanding of this energy and how the timelines are becoming more malleable, and how for a long time humans have been together on the collective same timeline, but as the collective timeline begins to split, there is alteration in the field, we'll call it, in the collective memory, and that's where we get the Mandala Effect, or different people in a culture remembering big incidents, a lot of political incidents, and some incidents about candy. If any of you are into the Mandala Effect, look up the Mandala Effect on Google and you'll see all the different evidence of collective difference in memory from, like I said, political remembrances, from things that happened in China to things that happened with Nelson Mandela, which is where the term comes from, to Kit Kat, how Kit Kat was spelled, to Berenstain Bears, to Snow White, Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. All of those fun different ripples in the field that are showing up as evidence that we are splitting it. And while we might be living in parallel dimensions and timelines where sometimes we can still fully interact with other beings who are sharing a 3D experience with us, but we're finding evidence of moving through those and not being in the same ones that we were before. We are finding that we have choice in which dimension that we want to show up in more and more. We're finding that we're jumping back and forth between 3D, between 5D, 3D, 5D. Get yourself feeling really good, all blissed out, and then something will happen, they'll bring you back down. We're jumping, right? As you are making those emotional fluxes, Spirit is saying right now, Dana, for you and for, she said, oh, I thought I was dying. Sounds like you were experiencing a very intense case of this. But truly, every time that we are experiencing an emotional fluctuation, we're in essence altering the timeline. We're jumping timelines. Human beings are so incredibly powerful. We are some of the most dynamic engineers, creators, inventors, thinkers in the entire galaxy. But we've forgotten. It's like, it's kind of why all eyes are on Earth right now, is the joke's on them. They have so much power and so much creativity and can manifest so easily, yet look at them. Look at what they're doing. So as human beings, we have this ability to jump and to move timelines very easily, very effortlessly. And we're waking up to our abilities. We're waking up to our own remembrance and harnessing the power of who we are right now in this moment. So I feel Spirit wanting to do, calling it a power generator activation. Okay. For those of you, it's really focusing on these lower 3 chakras, which make humans unique and incredibly powerful. Like, we've looked at these spirits saying, we've looked at these as making us vulnerable for a long time. It's like, you know, your inner organs, this lower part of the body, this fleshy part of the body is the first part of the body we like bend over to protect if we're being attacked. Sometimes your head. I did grow up in Missouri, Tornado Alley, where you taught to get down and cover your head first thing, girl. You hear that tornado siren going off? But those lower chakras, those internal organs, that soft spot, that soft space of the body. A lot of times we come from vulnerability in our lower chakras. I'm going to invite you to receive this activation today as an adjustment that will allow you to come from a point of power. These are part of what make you as a human being so incredibly dynamic, so great at manifesting. For those of you, depending on where you're at along your journey, all right, so for those of you who are full on, like you're ready to remember, you're ready to get up and go, you're like, yeah, Emily, stop talking, give me this activation, because I got things to do right now. I hear you, I feel you, okay? This is going to be a boost that's going to begin generating powerful energy for you. For those of you who are still waking up to the remembrance of how powerful you are, this will act more gently, okay? This will begin to allow you to see more synchronicity, where you begin to have those hunches. Did I just make that happen? Okay, so depending on where you are in your journey, this is going to give you a powerful up level. I'm going to sit up nice and straight and just project here through the lower chakras. For any of you out there who want to receive it, just say yes. And thank you, Dana, for bringing forward this beautiful conversation. It started with jumping timelines and is ending with an activation, inviting us to remember how incredibly powerful and what unique and creative geniuses human beings are. Receiving that in the solar plexus. Good job. All right, for those of you who are new to the Akashic Records, if this was the first time that you hung out here in this space, this community, I want to welcome you. Please let me know it was your first time too. Say first timer. So I can make sure that you, like I said, feel welcomed, that you feel invited, and that you feel very safe in this space. For those of you who are new and you're still learning about the Akashic Records, this again is the realm of consciousness where all information exists. So as I have been channeling in insight to the questions, I've been tapping into that field of the records where all information is recorded from a space of unconditional love and zero judgment. This is an information bank, a tool, a sacred tool. I like to even call it a technology. I'm returning this technology to the planet. Every single human being has access to this realm of infinite intelligence. So if you are somebody who is looking for that level of connection in your life, you're ready to move into that state where you're going to take responsibility for healing your own karma. You want to become your own guru. You're like, bring it on. I want to be blessed with the understanding of the cosmic mysteries. That's really what the records begins to do, is it begins to unveil the cosmic mysteries to you, explaining them to you and allowing you to experience an understanding of them through your own life, through learning how to heal yourself, through experiencing your intuition becoming so sharp that it is a power tool that you will never again leave behind. Then if that is you, I invite you to put maybe 5 or 6 chain of emojis. Do a little emoji string for me. Then I definitely know, okay, this is someone who wants to know more about the Akashic Records. I will make it a point to reach out to those of you who leave me a little emoji chain saying, I need to know more about how I access infinite intelligence. Help me, Emily. I'm very messed up and I know I have great potential. Emoji, 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 emoji. Yes, that's you. And also, not to scare any of you, but those of you who do step into my space, who step into my frequency, you have a powerful mission. You have big work to do here on the planet. Whether you were doing that work on the macrocosm, you're doing it, taking the stage and getting up there and preaching it, or whether you're doing it on the microcosm, you're doing it, shifting your life, you're changing the life of your family, you are, the way that you are raising your children is becoming different. Regardless of whether you're working on the macro or the micro, those of you who come into my field, you have big work to do. And you doing that work and accomplishing that mission means a lot for all the rest of us, because you are contributing to the collective expansion, the collective experiment. And there are a lot of you out there who have felt the call for a long time and you can't deny it anymore. So for those of you who are ready, again, send me the emojis. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. If this has served you, then I invite you to do one more quick share. Share this out to your tribe, out to the enlightened thinking groups that you frequent, and let's together create a powerful impact here on the planet by sharing wisdom and sacred time together. I thank you all for being with me. Namaste.